Hello and good day, everybody. This is J Bill. Thank you for tuning in and kicking it with me. Today we're going to be learning about the hydraulic clutch system inside the early and late 90s Honda Civics and Acura Integras. Pretty much here today we have the clutch master cylinder, we have the clutch slave, and we have the clutch line. And that's pretty much the main essential basic things that you'll need to get your clutch working pretty much and engaging like it should, banging gears as we all love to do. So alright, let's get into it. So today I have some wrenches. I have a 8mm, a 12mm, a 13mm, and a 14mm, which we're going to be using here today. I have some Teflon tape, and I also have some brake grease. It's high temp disc brake and wheel bearing grease, but any grease will do. It's always good to grease your components that are going to be used and stressed out a lot. So we'll get into it and yeah, pretty much show you what it's all about. Okay, so this is the clutch master, and this is for your clutch. So these two parts here, this will go inside the firewall and connect to your brake pedal. So we'll go ahead and screw that on there. I put it halfway, but you'll adjust it once you get inside the car, and you know, pretty much it's all preference where you want to put it. And then you'll put the locking pin through your clutch pedal all the way in the top of the firewall. It'll be right behind the dash, probably right behind your fuse box, right beneath your foot. So that we'll go ahead and install. We'll go ahead and take this out. It's just a rubber grommet to protect the thread during shipping, I guess. So we'll go ahead and place that down. Alright, here we have the clutch slave. So we'll take out that rubber grommet again. That's where we're going to be threading in the clutch line. Alright. Here we're going to be using the grease. At this point we're going to be using the grease. So we'll go ahead and open that up. Peel that back. Alright. So you want to grab a little bit of grease. Not too much, just enough. And pretty much grease that in there, because that is going to be used quite often to engage your clutch. Alright. And then we'll also want to grease inside the boot, because that's going to be going right over the pin. Alright. Alright. And so now that your boot is actually nice and greased in there, which is great, you're going to want to install the pin, and this boot is going to come right about here. It's going to lock in right here and sit nice. So we'll go ahead and install this now. Oh yeah. Alright. So a little bit of grease came out, but that's not bad. That's exactly what we want. We want this thing to get nice and greased. So, just nice and greased in there. Go ahead and wipe this off. Alright, so now we want to put that boot all the way over. Alright, now she's in place. She's seated correctly. And she's all greased up, which is great. So now go ahead and grab your clutch sleeve and your pin and insert it like so. And just want to go ahead and compress it just a little bit. Should be able to compress, and then go ahead and get that cover right over. It's a little messy, but it's worth it. All worth it in the end. Alright, now that she is seated all the way around, like it should be, I usually do a quick test just to double check to make sure it is working properly. This is your bleeder bolt. As you can see, it has a rubber grommet over it. You can just go ahead and take that off, place it aside. This is your bleeder bolt. That's what the 8mm wrench is for when you go to bleed it. I will have a video which is going to explain how to bleed it in the near future, so stay tuned for that. But this is your bleeder bolt. You want to make sure it's tightened, that way no air gets out. So go ahead and compress that and put your finger over the hole where your line would go and let go. That's working properly. That's how you know it's in working order. So that's good. Alright, so now that this is all set and ready to go, we'll go ahead and install our line. So let's get to it. And I'll go ahead and explain this. You do want to put Teflon tape, as I have here on the side, on all your fittings. It's usually recommended. But I'm just going to demonstrate something very quick. That way you don't strip anything and you don't want to mess anything up. So when it comes to fittings, you just want to take a quick look on the inside before you start threading anything. But as you can see, on the inside of your slave, that there, it's like a nipple and it's pointing out. So I guess you can call it a male. And then you have the same thing here. That's pretty much what the inside is. So therefore you don't want that going in that way. As you can see, this side of the fitting goes inward. So you want to put that side of the fitting inwards, because the inside of your slave is faced like so. So just a heads up, that way you don't go threading in and you're putting in the wrong side and stripping everything. So don't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the line together. And again, use your Teflon tape. Say an inch or two is fine of the tape. You don't want that much. Just want it to wrap around maybe once or twice. Okay. You just want them to be on the threads. You don't really want them going into the holes. So make sure that's not happening, because that is not a good thing. So I'll put that aside. So there you are. It's not blocking the holes. It's clear, and it's only really on the thread. It's very thin, but it does the job of preventing any leaks. So there you have it. Go ahead and do the others. Alright. Alright, now go ahead and install your fittings on each end as recommended. Go ahead and tighten those on. Alright, so now you're going to go ahead and put this end of the fitting into your slave. And go ahead and tighten that. There you go. Alright, now that that's in there, you'll want to go ahead and tighten it. I'm going to go ahead and use a 13 as well as a 14. So you got your 13 and 14. Alright. 13 goes on the line, 14 goes on the fitting. So you go ahead and tighten up. Ooh. Tighten up the one on the sleeve first, that fitting, that adapter. And that's pretty snug. You don't want to do it super tight. Just enough to where you feel it snug. These are aluminum fittings, so they're very easy to strip. So just enough, just snug enough. As they like to say, just like snug, like a bug in a rug. Alright. Now we'll go ahead and hop over to the Clutch Master and go ahead and install this fitting. Alright. So here you have the nut, and it has a hole. That's where the fluid's going to come through. And you want to, don't forget these washers, as I almost did, because they will cause leaks. And you don't want leaks. One on the top, and then one underneath, with the line being in the middle. That said, go ahead and hand tighten. Here, you want to use that 12. And again, guys, just snug. This is all aluminum, so you don't want anything stripping on you. I'm a very big fan of not stripping anything. There you go, she's on snug. She's not moving left or right. She's in there very nicely. Just want to snug. Perfect. Alright, put the 12 back. Go ahead and use the 13 to tighten up that line. Alright, snug. There it is. That is how it's done. And then you'll want to go ahead and install this inside the tranny. This is going to be up against your fork of the tranny. This is going to go on the outside of the firewall near the shock tower. and this is going to be connected to your clutch pedal. There you have it. That is the hydraulic system of your clutch. And when this clutch is pressed, it'll then apply pressure throughout the whole system. Once that is applied, when the liquid comes through the reservoir down into the master, pressure will be applied, and then it will go all the way through your line. Once that comes through the line, this will push. Instead of being compressed like we're doing, it's going to push out. So as that pushes out, the fork moves the clutch. That way it engages. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for a future video of the actual install on the transmission and the car itself, as well as the process to bleed and make sure that clutch is firm and working properly like it should. Thanks again, guys, and have a good day.